Okay, we're recording. So here we are with our client testimonial. We have Dr. Robert Moreau. Uh, and thank you so much for taking your time today to share your experience with us. We recently did a website design for your practice,
Mhm.
Pediatric Dental Center of Mansfield, Massachusetts. And we're here today to learn a little bit about your experience with that website design project. And yeah, so let's get started. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your practice?
Would love to. All right. So after 8 years of associateships, I decided to open my own practice in pediatric dentistry, as you can probably tell from the top I'm wearing. But so in 2004, which is when I started this little venture or began this quest, I was, looking at different things I could do in my practice to make it a little bit boutiquey, because that's what people were talking about back in the. It sounds like it was so long ago, but back in the 2000s. And I got my practice finally together, and I opened in late 2005. So 16 plus years later, here we are. Been working in the Mansfield area and opened a satellite practice, which I thought I would never do. And in fact, if someone asked me, I would have said, no, I'm never going to do that. But I ended up doing it because of the situation. It's a longer story. We won't go through that today, but I ended up opening a satellite. But that's basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm sure you can reach more patients too, having the satellite practice, in a different location and just reach more communities, more kids that way, more
Mm-hmm.
families.
So
Very cool.
true. So true.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you were experiencing, like why you reached out to us to begin with.
Well, it was a few years back, as you may recall,
Mhm.
because I had originally set up my practice with Yahoo Business. That was in, again, 2004, 2005. And I was able to go with that route because I was trying to stay in the means of my startup practice budget after
Yeah.
realizing how much it cost to do what I had thought I would do and
Mhm.
actually did. My design was very basic. I had 5 pages of content. Wow. And then I reached out because what I was doing is I was doing a search of myself. Now, obviously, I wanted to see just where I stood in the whole realm of the internet. So I found I was on the second page, and I'm thinking to myself, when I search something, I never pass the first page.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
would parents do this as well? So
They'll never find me.
that's really what it was. And so after that happened, I said, oh, I have to do some, optimization here and get things a little bit better so that I don't become at the end of the Google search, but more towards the beginning, because I had general dentists and local dentists that weren't even treating children coming up before I was. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I put in children's dentist. How
Hmm.
they must have had that word high up on their ranking, obviously. And I didn't have that word high up on my ranking,
Yeah.
obviously. So,
Yeah.
that's basically how it all started. When that happened to me, I said, okay, that's it. No more of this Yahoo stuff. So that's where I contacted the company and obviously went from there.
Yeah. So what made you finally decide to take the leap to go from the site you had to a brand new makeover, if you will, a new look and feel?
Um, the major reason I did it is because I wanted to keep up with the technological portion of my field and be able to keep up with the Joneses, as everybody says. I wanted
Mhm.
to get out there and put my brand on there and have people recognize who I was.
Yeah.
And I said, if I do it on my own still, there's a lot of things that I'm missing, and I wasn't aware of certain things I needed to do. And that's where I said, you know what? It's nice to say you can do everything, but sometimes you need a hand, and I needed a big one at that point in time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
I reached,
mean,
yeah,
you want to focus on what you do best and what you're passionate about, which is dentistry.
exactly.
Um, so we're so glad you reached out to us. So with that question, with that said, what was it that made you choose us?
I think what I did is I like to do a lot of background checking. So contacting my colleagues that were already utilizing services from you folks. So I found out 2 or 3 of them were using this company, and I said, well, obviously, if it's good for 2 people to use, then I might just as well look into it. So I did, and then that's when we all met, and it just went from there, ballooned from there, which was great because the other companies out there that I was looking at were corporate style companies, and me being a small practitioner, I don't mean height wise. That's not a height joke, but small in the sense of the business. I don't have 15 dentists working with me. It's me,
Yeah.
myself, and I. But I wanted not to get lost
Right.
in the shuffle of a big corporation, and that's what happens when you contact these corporate style website design places. And they're really all about the almighty dollar, and you don't get a choice sometimes on setup, and because they follow a routine or a protocol, and that regimen is always pretty strict, and they go from there. But so that's why I ended up on your doorstep.
Yeah, I hear that a lot that you feel like a number, or it's cookie cutter, or it's just,
Mhm.
you don't really get the same account manager, or whoever you get assigned, and it's a
Right.
different person a lot of the time. So I do hear that a lot, that, hey, it's nice, when we call, it's the same people, and we can count on you.
Which is
So
great.
that feels good. So tell me a little bit about your experience from start to finish, like with the website design process. Like, how did that go for you? Did you feel like it was pretty easy?
Oh yeah, I felt it went seamless, and I think the biggest hurdle is finding time to review everything I had to review and get it back to said owner, and
Yeah.
get the ball rolling, because again, everything requires time, and you don't want to rush into this kind of stuff because you want to make, because in terms of getting it formatted properly so that people don't get lost navigating in
Right.
your own website, which happened on the other one. I wanted to
Hmm.
make sure everything was followed to a T, and just that was probably the hardest part for me, is just finding all that time to review everything to get it the way I wanted it, and then to go from there and launch. But it worked well. I think it was seamless, minus the time that it took me to get back to certain people.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard, right? When you have a lot of content to review, but then once it's finally all organized, and it's
Hmm.
within the navigation, and you can look and see everything right there, and your patients can access that content, and you can, your staff can say, hey, go to the site, click on this button, it's right there on the
Hmm.
homepage.
Hmm.
Um, especially right now with some of the COVID documents and the things that are really important and relevant, people
Right.
can just go on there, and it's
Hmm.
right there. You can't miss it. So,
Oh
and
yeah.
these are things that I know, protocols that you guys need to follow,
Mhm.
that are new,
Oh
for
yeah.
a lot of companies, but for specifically for dentistry. So,
Hmm.
um, so tell me, after the site launched, did you hear from any patients, or staff? Did anybody give you feedback on the new
Yeah,
site?
yeah. Because my site was so stagnant before, it had content, but it wasn't doing much. I was starting to hear from parents. The staff really didn't get into it until we started putting forms on there, and then they were like, "Wow, this is awesome! Everything's at our fingertips. We hit a button, we can send it to them, and they hit a button, it goes right back into our software," which was
Right, that's huge.
wonderful. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just a time saver. So obviously, when you're saving the clerical team's time, it's it goes without say. But yeah, it was unbelievable. It really was.
Yeah, that's super valuable to get that time back for your team,
It definitely is. They could be
especially,
doing other things, so many
es
other things, than
right,
worrying
especially,
about why it's not working out with the old website, and go from there.
right, I mean, they have a lot to do, and like you said, it's one dentist,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure you have a smaller team, so they have to wear many hats. So that makes it, definitely makes the process a lot easier for them.
Right, and then parents were also telling me, "Hey, this website's very easy to get through. I like this. This is wonderful." And I found the forms very easy. Thanks for showing me this little section over here, and for the education portion of it. They like that too. So yeah, I did hear a few from the more from the parents. They're not the patients themselves, obviously, because they're
Yeah.
young, but the parents definitely, without a doubt.
Oh, that's great. So then I have to ask, how does it make you feel to have a new site?
Oh,
How's it feel?
yeah, it's amazing. I don't miss the old one. This new one has just been, and it keeps getting better now because patients can actually, and they've been bugging me for the past few years, can we pay you online? I'm like, well, geez,
Mhm.
no, not yet.
Yeah,
Now I have, that type of a site on, within my site that they can go ahead and do
yeah,
payments, which is nice because that's what they're so used to doing, especially these millennials out there that are parents now. They don't want to have to sit there and write a check and find a stamp and find an envelope. A lot of
yeah,
extraneous work. They want to spend it, like they do the rest of the day with their little munchkins running around,
right. Yeah,
controlling
checkbook.
everything.
What's a checkbook?
Yeah, exactly. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's so true. Yeah, that it's definitely been, because obviously I was helping to edit the previous site, when we first started
Mhm.
working together, and now that the new site is up, I mean, it's so much quicker in terms of
Oh yeah,
editing.
yeah,
I can edit for you. You can edit, or a member of your
yep,
staff can edit if you want. I know you trust me to do that for you, but
yep.
certainly the ease of use in the content management system is like so much easier for
Oh
quick
yeah,
updates.
night and day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so that's so great to hear. So my last question is, what would you tell someone that's considering doing website design with our company?
Oh, that's pretty easy one to answer.
Mhm.
Obviously, I would tell the individual, get ready for a second to none, one-on-one treatment. I mean, it's just amazing. Again, you don't get that when you call these corporations that do the same thing, and they
Yeah,
promise you the world, and you're going to get, you're the highest search engine optimization ever imagined. You're going to get calls left and right. Yeah, but you don't get the one-on-one, and it's nicer that way because then you feel like the hard-earned money that you're paying for a company to do said work and to design and all that is being well used, and that's really where it was for me,
yeah.
definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. I really appreciate that. It was so much fun working on your site because it's really different than anything we had worked on before with all of the cartoon animals, and it really showcases your personality and the personality of the practice.
Right.
After getting a chance to go in there and do some photography and some video work, like it was great to meet the staff and see how colorful and friendly it is there. It's a great atmosphere. So it was fun bringing that to life from a graphics perspective, bringing that online was
Yeah,
really
and a great job was done too, because I didn't know what to expect. You can look at other websites, but you say, well, I don't really like that part of that website, but this part's neat over here. Well, let's look at this. Oh, that page, I don't want that page, but I look at this page. So there's a lot
right.
of, there just like there's no two dentists that do dentistry the same way. There's no two
Mhm.
websites that look the same, really. I mean,
Right.
the graphics, I don't mean the graphics, but just the style of the setup and to make it just so user friendly, not
Sure.
for my team, but more for the outside person, the parent that's shopping for a new dentist for whatever reason, or
Right.
for the existing parent that has, oh geez, I have a question. Well, I can't reach Dr. Bob because it's a Friday at 5 o'clock and he's out doing something. So let's go ahead and go on his website and see if I can find those answers.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's definitely more of a resource. And we enjoy obviously putting together the functionality part piece of the website design, but it's always so much fun putting our vision together, with yours and
Mm,
combining ideas and then coming forward with, a new concept and a new design, like, different than
right.
anybody else. So it's a lot of fun.
Mm,
So is there anything else that you wanted to add today?
funny you should ask that. Good point. No, I kind of once in a while get asked if you were ever going to do it all over again, would you do everything the same way? So,
Mhm.
in regards to, let's go one place with this, with regards to my career, just my career and starting a practice and all that set. So yes, I would have started my practice earlier because I was an associate for 8 years.
Yeah.
So I was trying to, we'll call it, find myself. Trying to find myself, and I realized that doing my own thing was probably going to be the end all, and I did it. But also, I would have started my web design quicker with an actual company other than Yahoo Business.
Yeah.
Had I known more about it like I do now, I probably wouldn't have spent so much time you know, obviously I didn't spend a lot of money because it was Yahoo Business, but spend a lot of time trying to make that the
Make
perfect
it
site.
work.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. When we met, you were trying to make it work, but it just
Mhm.
wasn't working anymore for you.
No, it was
It's
definitely
time.
antiquated, even though it wasn't even 10 years old when
It
we
was
first started
vintage.
talking.
I like to use the word vintage.
Vintage. Yep, that's a good word.
Yeah, yeah.
Antique, vintage, classic.
It was
Yep. Oh
classic.
yeah.
Exactly.
It was classic, all right. I don't miss it. No, I don't.
Good.
Not
Good.
at all.
I'm so glad to hear that. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's been lovely speaking with you and hearing
Yeah.
more about your experience.
I'm happy you contacted me
Yeah, excellent.
because it worked very well.
Okay, well, we're going to let you go now. And thank you so much for your time.